these guys walk around with these championship rings. Hey, y'all bus riders.
Isaiah Thomas has a great phrase. He says, I'm talking about bus drivers, not bus riders. And Kevin Durant was a bus driver. And now he's on a bus rider.
His biggest weakness of his whole career is the lack of the intangible stuff and the connective tissue that makes one a leader.
It always sounded like disrespect when Charles Barkley called Kevin Durant a bus rider. It felt like one of those loud, old head takes that ignores how great KD is. But here's the thing. The more you actually look at his career, the harder it becomes to ignore what Chuck was really saying. Because this isn't really about rings or stats or even talent. It's about something much simpler and way harder to fake. It's about why a Kevin Durant-led team always fails every time, and why the only time it worked was with Steph Curry. And by the end of this video, you'll see why Chuck is still right about Kevin Durant. There's no doubt that Kevin Durant is one of the purest scorers the NBA has ever seen. However, it's almost possible to ignore the fact that since he left Golden State, it's been one failure after another. When Chuck called him a bus rider, many KD fans saw it as hate, but time has proven him right. Kevin Durant doesn't seem to be able to lead in any meaningful way. He has never been a bus driver who, when things break down and defenses load up, can keep the team alive. He has never been that guy who makes the reads, calms the team, creates advantages, and takes the blame when it all falls apart. When it comes to skill, Durant would have a real argument as the best player of his generation. We've seen it before, and in case you forgot, here's Stephen A. reminding everyone
that there was a time where there was a debate. Who's the greatest player in the game? Is it KD or is it LeBron? Years ago, we were having that discussion. And the reason why universally it was recognized as being LeBron is not because of skill, it's because of leadership.
And that's the part that people don't like to talk about. Because real leadership shows up when the game gets ugly, when defenses send two at you, and when you're forced to create something out of nothing. That's what separates drivers from riders.
I try to tell y'all, all these bus riders, they don't mean nothing to me. If you ain't driving the bus, don't walk around and talk about you a champion. If you riding the bus, I don't want to hear it. Come on, Shaq, tell them. All these guys walk around with these championship rings. Hey, y'all bus riders.
And to understand how Charles Barkley got it right about KD, you have to go back to the moment when KD was supposed to be driving the bus for real. Oklahoma City is where Kevin Durant was supposed to prove he could be a leader, that he could be a bus driver. In OKC, there was no system protecting him. Everything was built around him. And at first, it looked like it worked. KD was putting up big numbers, even pushing Golden State to the brink in 2016. But once you zoom in on how defenses were actually playing him, it's a completely different story that shows up. Back then, teams weren't scared of OKC's spacing. They weren't worried about shooters stretching the floor. So what did they do? They loaded up on Durant. Multiple defenders, clogged lanes, help coming from every direction. The exact kind of pressure a bus driver is supposed to control. And when that pressure came, things got messy. Kevin Durant looked unimpressive when doubled, because when Durant beat his man, he didn't find space. He ran into more defenders. And instead of quickly making the right read, the game slowed down for him. One extra dribble, one late decision, and suddenly the possession is over. And it wasn't just one play, it was a pattern. Defenses knew they could send help, and over time, that pressure started to wear him down. In the 2016 playoffs, Durant averaged nearly 4 turnovers a game in over 18 games. Not terrible on the surface, but in high leverage moments, those mistakes became magnified. Late game possessions, tight series, big decisions, that's where it showed up. Because being the primary focus of a defense isn't just about scoring, it's about decision making. And that is where Barkley's argument begins, because KD had the role of a bus driver in OKC, but it was too much for him, and he left, leaving Chuck disappointed.
Why were you disappointed he left?
Well, because I wanted him to stay in Oklahoma City. I want competitive balance. I don't like super teams. I want guys to compete.
Then he moved to Golden State, and suddenly the pressure he used to face in OKC didn't just decrease, it disappeared. At first, it looked like Kevin Durant had taken another leap. His numbers exploded, his efficiency skyrocketed, and he went back-to-back finals MVPs. It felt like proof that he could be a leader. But when you actually watched the game and saw what was happening, it became clear. Teams weren't reacting to Durant, they were reacting to Steph Curry. Defenses were basically turning their backs on one of the best pure scorers in the NBA because of Steph. And this is where the entire argument flips, because in OKC, Durant was the system. Every defense was built to stop him. But in Golden State, he wasn't the first problem anymore. Curry was. Defenses were trapping him 30 feet from the basket, chasing him off screens, sending two defenders at him before the play even developed. Suddenly, those crowded lanes Durant used to see, gone. Those quick double teams, delayed or never coming at all. For the first time in his career, Durant wasn't solving the defense, he was benefiting from it already being broken. With Curry on the floor, Durant's three-point percentage jumped significantly. His mid-range looks got cleaner. Why? Not because his skill changed, but because the difficulty level dropped. While KD was finishing plays at an all-time level, Steph Curry was creating the advantage that made those plays possible. Even inside the Warriors' own system, that truth never really changed. The offense still started with Curry's movement, his gravity, his ability to pull defenders out of position without even touching the ball. Durant fit into that system perfectly, arguably better than anyone ever could. But Kevin Durant didn't build it. He didn't drive it. He thrived inside it. And this is where Charles Barkley is proven right, because once Durant left Golden State, everything changed. Now, Kevin Durant was no longer playing next to the one player in the league who can bend an entire defense without touching the ball. There's no more built-in advantage, no more automatic spacing, no more system doing half the work before he even catches the ball. Now, everything goes back to him. This was supposed to be KD's chance to prove that Charles Barkley was wrong calling him a bus rider. Instead, he proved that he's still right. We started seeing the same problems from OKC start to resurface, but this time, they're even harder to ignore.
Durant had 5 shots in that first quarter, only 4 more since. The double on Durant, taken away by Smart. 6 of 19 in game 1. Turnover. Durant looking for help.
We started seeing that old Kevin Durant with poor decision-making skills. Once the defense sends extra help, the floor shrinks, the decision has to be made quickly, and instead of controlling the possession, everything stalls out. Kevin Durant even formed another super team with Kyrie and Harden for the Brooklyn Nets, but nothing came of it. It only gave Chuck more fuel.
You know, Kevin, I just gotta say, man, do you have a full-time psychiatrist on staff dealing with all the stuff you have to deal with in Brooklyn? Or you got Kyrie going on. I mean, it's always drama around that team. So I know you got to have somebody to talk to because it's hectic.
And from the Nets to the Suns, and now the Rockets, the story stayed the same. Not even a conference finals, much less a title. Meanwhile, Steph Curry, who some considered to be the bus rider when KD was with the Warriors, single-handedly brought another title to Golden State. In his last playoff game, Durant finished with 9 turnovers in a single night, which is a new low for him. But off the court, we see that issue of leadership with KD. He isn't just someone that can bring a team together. And right now, he looks more disconnected than ever.
So now the question becomes, is Kevin Durant maybe disconnected from the Rockets? Perk, what do you think?
Hell yeah, it's a disconnect there. When you think about, Alfred Sengun and Kevin Durant not being able to be on the same page, it's things that have transpired throughout the course of this season that gives me reason to believe that this team is not on the same page.
At this point, it is undeniable that Kevin Durant is not a leader, and Chuck was right about that all along. Because this isn't about one bad series, it's not about age, and it's not about injuries. It's about a consistent pattern that shows up whenever Durant is asked to be the one driving everything. He ends up breaking the team both on and off the court.
And I really like KD, but this is now the fourth straight place that it looks like people are miserable at the end of it.
One thing is clear. Kevin Durant's talent has never been in question. On any given night, he can still look like the best player on the floor. But when the game tightens, when defenses focus entirely on him, and when he's called upon to lead, he never rises to the occasion. And that's why Barkley is still right about Kevin Durant. Not because Durant isn't great, but because greatness in this context isn't just about what you can do with the ball in your hands. It's about what happens when everything depends on you. Can you drive, or are you just along for the ride? If you enjoyed this video, then watch Charles Barkley was right about Nikola Jokic, but it's debatable next.